Recently, I've been working on an illustration project of a brand character for one of my clients, and it's interesting. I've never done that before, and it's kind of a challenge. And since I'm not very good at illustration myself, what I do is I work with a studio in Ukraine which helped me with illustration, but I have to art direct them. There's like gazillions of iteration, and I want to share that process with you, how I work with them, how I guide them, and kind of art direct them. So I'm going to a meeting right now with that client to show them some of the iteration and kind of new versions of the illustration that we worked for. But they've offered me, again for the second time, a shiatsu treatment just before the meeting, which is super awesome on their part. So I'm going to take their offer, have the meeting, and then share with you how it went.
We are go for launch.
All right, this was a fun day. The secret to great freelancing is working with clients who have a lot of money and appreciate the work that you do. That's just, if you can get that, you'll be set. And so the meeting went great. I showed them the updated illustration and they loved it. I want to take you step by step, kind of the process that I went through to get there. So let's start with the brief that I wrote, the initial brief that I wrote the illustrator to explain to them what I'm looking for and kind of the style. So basically, I've created this Google Doc with a little sketch that I made in my notebook explaining what do you see. So in this example, the brand character is a secretary that helps you find information, and I want to see her holding a phone and an email-like envelope sitting on her laptop, next to her laptop. So that's basically the illustration I need. I brought some illustration reference, McKinsey's illustration for Coach, and another website that I liked that I thought could work for this brand. I've suggested a color scheme that I'll be working with for this brand. And then I brought a reference for the secretary and wrote here, please don't make it too much sexy, but it needs to be friendly. And I brought this reference of kind of an old retro secretary, which was kind of the look that I thought would fit the brand, and also an illustration that I liked that could be around that area. Just a different illustration type, but maybe something around this. So basically, this is what I sent the illustrator the first time. Now, here's the thing. You see illustrations or any type of design on a website and you say, that looks great. Now you're about to see how many iteration it takes to get to something that you like, especially with illustration. I just learned how hard it is to get the exact feel that you're looking for. So here's the first thing that they've sent me. Basically, they've sent me this 4 options. And told me it's not finished, but what do you think about those directions? And I said, yeah, I think this one here, the top left one, is something that we can work with, but I don't like that it's so flat color-wise, and let's make it more lively. And so they kind of send me these 2 options, which was much better. And between those, I think the difference is just the color scheme and what's on the background. I told them let's go with this, but I didn't like the colors that they used for certain things, and I certainly didn't like those lips, which were way too much for my taste. And so I've sent my feedback to the illustration, and all this is before the client even saw anything. This is just my feedback as kind of an art director for the project, telling the illustrator what I think would be a great job. And so I've sent them the illustration and the feedback, and they've sent me back this, which was much better, and I really like this one. And this is actually what I've presented the client in our first meeting, and they actually loved it. They thought it was a great improvement from what they have now, and basically they said, yep, okay, we like the style, we like the character, we like how you went there, but there's few things that we're not so sure about. After a few days when they thought this and kind of slept this over, they said, look, she looks a bit too geeky, I don't know, maybe a bit too old fashioned, and her smile, she doesn't look friendly enough. There's not enough emotion there. And they said, gotta try out some more things because we're not feeling it yet. And I tried to communicate that feedback back to the illustrator, but honestly, it's hard. It's hard to explain. What does it mean that she doesn't create emotion or that she's not friendly enough? And the illustrator sent me back those things because basically I told her, let's try different glasses or try different smiles or try different haircuts. And so she sent me this, but I was looking at this and I said, no. Actually, the way I described it to her was create a character that I would look at and I want to hang out with her. I know that sounds a bit abstract, but I was looking at the old one. She looks kind of dull and boring. Create somebody who I want to hang out with. And so she sent me this and I told her, honestly, I don't want to hang out with any of them. So let's try more things. And then she sent me like 12 options. You can see them here. Where she definitely tried a lot of head shapes, hair combination, glasses types. She tried a lot of things. And that's cool. That's great that she made a lot of things for me to choose from. But honestly, I was looking at this and there was still nothing that really kind of hit it home for me. At this point, it was 2 days before the presentation to the client, and I couldn't afford another day of feedback and sending feedback to her and getting it a few days later back. And so I said, okay, I'm not a great illustrator, but I think there's a lot of elements here. Maybe I can just copy paste them and pick and choose something that I like that I'll feel better with. So here's what I did. I just copied the original one that I like, and I said every time I'll try to change something. So in the first step that I took, I said, okay, let's just change her glasses and change her shirt. Now she looks a little bit more sophisticated. She looks a little bit more up to date, a little bit more stylish. And then I said, okay, let's try a different smile, like a bigger smile with a little bit more red lips here. Yeah, now she looks much friendlier. And then I changed the hair. Just again, the resources were there from all the hairs that she did. I just copy pasted and changed the color to something that I like because I like the original hair color. And yeah, I like this hair much better. And then did a little more iteration and kind of made the eyes a little bit bigger and kind of fixed the face a little bit more, retouched the smile a little bit more. And actually, this is what I liked. I checked some more things like without the outlines, which was also kind of an interesting way to go, or with different glasses, but I ended up saying, yeah, I think this is the best solution. And so what I did is I created a presentation that just shows step by step, just like I showed you here, how I took the original, duplicated it, and then changed one thing and one thing and one thing, and at the end coming up with the final outcome and kind of like before and after. And it was great. They loved it. They actually really enjoyed the process. I also showed them all of the versions that were made that I didn't choose from, just so they would see how much work goes into that. And they really appreciated this. And I'm pretty happy with where we are right now with this. So now we're gonna take this kind of style for her, or personality, we can call this, and make a lot of use cases for this character in the website and in other brand elements. And so, yeah, I'm really happy with how this came out. This is the first time of me doing kind of a project with an illustrated brand character, and this was really, in times, frustrating and challenging and took a lot of work, and I actually had to pay to the illustrator a lot because I made so many iterations on it. But I think that the outcome is great, and the client is super happy. So overall, great success, I would say. Anyway, it's pretty late out here, so hope you guys have a great day. Heading out to edit this video and then to bed. Great day. I will catch you guys tomorrow.